You're welcome. So my name is Caryl Baily. I'm a nurse practitioner. I work here at the Cincinnati Sports Club. Some of you may or may not know that we do have primary care here. It's a great benefit to people who are members of the club, but anybody can actually come see me. You don't have to be a member of the club. I accept new patients. I'm here 20 hours a week. So because I started in August, and because of that, I was asked to come and do some presentations on things that enhance our lives. Along with the wellness topic for January, we're just going to talk about joy and how that enhances your life. I'm not going to focus as much on the medical aspect. We're just really going to have a more lighthearted topic of discussion for how we can insert joy into our lives. And we will touch on what that does for you from a medical standpoint. But, you know, joy is just something that we always need and we need more of. So let me figure out how we can get this going here. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I am not so I had it on like a slideshow just where I could flip through it before, and I wonder if it changed. Guys, give me 1 second here. All right, so I'm gonna do this.
You're trying to access the notes?
No, I don't need notes. I was just gonna, it wasn't doing this before. I love it when these things happen.
Are you wanting it to be an example?
I just want to be a full screen. Yeah. Okay. So I think I can just flip through here, can't I?
Yeah,
okay, we'll just do that. Okay, perfect. Okay, so joy is not optional biology. It's a physiological cascade. So when we have joy, lots of things are happening in the body. It's not just something that we experience and, you know, a feeling that we get. It's chemicals, it's dopamine, it's serotonin, it's a little bit of cortisol. It's all of those things. So we talk all about stress and burnout and trauma, but we don't talk about joy deprivation. We don't talk about sadness, depression, and the absence of joy. Those things really do start to take a toll after a while. If we're withholding joy, if we're delaying joy and we're not letting ourselves feel that, then the negative effects start to set in, and we start to feel that in our life. And it's not just, you know, I didn't let myself feel joy in this moment. Typically, it's insidious. It's just over a long period of time, and suddenly we're like, why does my life feel so empty? Why do I feel so sad? And so a lot of times we're not letting ourselves stop and feel joy for a moment. The body doesn't break down just from stress. It breaks down from unrelieved stress. So when we're not having these outlets for stress, we're not letting ourselves have joy, we're not doing things that are joyful, then things start to break down, and we start experiencing the negative side effects of stress. Joy tells the nervous system, I'm safe right now. We have the chemicals that we were talking about, the cascade of oxytocin, serotonin, those kinds of things. When the body senses safety, cortisol comes down, digestion turns back on, immune function improves, muscles soften, blood vessels open, blood pressure relax, we get a lower blood pressure. And I'm going to talk for just a minute about cortisol, because I think it's a big word that lots of people throw around, and they say cortisol is bad, cortisol is good. It's a balance. So everyone needs cortisol. It's a hormone that's produced by the pituitary, and it starts in the brain, the hypothalamus, and it starts to have a cascading effect. Now, it tells us fight or flight, it protects us, it also kind of gives us a boost of adrenaline when we need it, but elevated cortisol over long periods of time is where we start to get in trouble. And so we want to make sure that we're not saying that all cortisol is bad, we're not staving off all caffeine. A little caffeine is okay. Consistent use of caffeine can raise cortisol levels, stress, putting off joy, those can definitely raise cortisol levels as well and lead to a whole bunch of other things that we don't want. Talking about digestion, so joy is not excitement, it's the body exhaling. So before I jump into the digestion part, I want everyone to just take a big, huge, deep breath with me. Just let it out. I'm going to do that one more time. And when we do that, our body starts to relax. We start to release that cortisol. We start to calm down. But then we're talking about digestion kind of coming back in. Has it ever happened to you? And ladies, you can probably level with me a little bit more here than men can. But you go into your favorite store. I like to shop. That's what, brings me joy. You go into your favorite store and you're shopping around, you're having a really good time, and suddenly you're like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Like, it happens. And for the longest time, I thought maybe it's just me. And then I started talking to other people and they're like, no, it's just me. And it typically happens when you're in the store and you've been maybe all the way to the back, furthest away from the bathroom, then your body says, oh, I gotta go. And that is because maybe you're doing something that you love. I do like to shop. I don't necessarily love to spend money, but I like to go and I like to look at things, and it brings me joy. And it's the body regulating. It's the body saying, okay, I'm safe, this is fine. But it just sometimes happens at a really inconvenient time. Like, you ever been to IKEA and you're in that little maze and you're all the way in the back and suddenly you have to go and you're like running? Yeah, it happens. It's not just you, it's okay, and it's probably a sign that your body is relaxing. Often happens after a good massage too. A lot of people say that they will go and get a massage if they're bound up, because the massage brings everything back down to a good level where they're able to relax, cortisol regulates, digestion comes back online, and then you can go to the bathroom. It's kind of nice. So again, cortisol, we talked about this. It's amazing short term. Does great things for us short term and short bursts. But when cortisol is present at high levels for a long period of time, that starts to be destructive, wearing on the immune system, muscles, bones, blood vessels, all the things. The body needs signals that it can turn it down. We don't want to eliminate cortisol altogether, but joy is one of the fastest ways to tell cortisol that you can chill. We don't need to be in high overdrive right now. And so introducing joy is a great way to do that. But a joy-starved body stays braced. So it's like we're driving, we're holding onto the steering wheel, and right before we brace for impact, we're gripping as hard as we can. You might notice that your teeth are clenched all the time. A lot of people will wake up or throughout the day, they'll realize that their jaw is tight, their teeth are clenched. And a lot of it is we're not letting ourselves have these little joy breaks. We're not letting ourselves have these little moments. And it doesn't have to be, you taking 30 minutes to go off and do something joyful. It can just be, okay, I'm gonna look at a book for a moment, or I'm gonna go out and have a walk. I'm gonna notice the sunshine, the birds, the cardinals. I'm gonna notice those things. And it's important. And the habits that you are getting into, your body remembers those things. So what chronic lack of joy looks like: tension, digestive issues, inflammation, sleep problems, emotional numbness. I have people that come to me all the time and they say, I don't feel bad, but I don't feel good. And then we'll run a full panel and nothing really comes up. And it's not that, we're dismissing that you don't feel good, but one, it's reassuring that nothing's coming up on the blood work, there's nothing egregious, but we got to figure out why it is that you don't feel good. So we got to look at it from a multifaceted approach. And a lot of times people will say, I'm so stressed, or, my attention is taken up by all of these things. And a lot of times it's, you got to let joy in. That's not the fix for everything, but a lot of people just delay it so much that it starts to affect a lot of the other systems in their body. It's not because people are weak, it's because the bodies never get proof of safety, so you're never able to fully relax. And the absence of joy doesn't always look like sadness. Sometimes it looks like just functioning, waking up, doing the same thing, getting through each day. And, there's a beauty in that in and of itself, where you're just surviving, but at some point you have to say, I got to let myself feel. I got to let myself have some joy. Nothing wrong with that. So I love to tell this little story. Some of you may have heard it, but there's a tale of two boys. So there's two little boys, and they're put in different rooms. In each room, each one of them has a gift. It looks like a gift. There's nothing else in the room. It's just two little boys, and they're told, okay, go ahead and open the present. So the first little boy goes in and he looks at the box and he's like, there's nothing in this room. What is this going to be? He opens the gift and it's a box of pony poop. It's horse poop. And he's like, this is absolutely ridiculous. And he's angry and he's upset. In the next room, the little boy comes in the room and he's like, a present! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. He opens the present. He looks at it for a second and he's like, this is pony poop. But then he starts taking the poop and throwing it up in the air going, where's the pony? The pony's nearby somewhere. That's joy. That is him being in a space for joy. And we could adapt the story to adults. Doesn't have to be children. I know most of us might be thinking, well, children, they don't know the stresses that we do. It could be anyone. It could be just the way that you look at life. You're ready for joy to happen to you. You're looking for it. You're not saying everything's stressful. This is just a box. It's a bunch of poop. Now I got to deal with the poop. It's letting joy, making moments for joy, making openings for joy. That was an old Chicken Soup for the Soul story that I was told long ago, and it's always stuck with me. Does anybody remember those books? Yeah, love those. So joy isn't denial. A lot of people think that if I let myself feel joy, then I'm denying something else or I'm putting something else off. Not always the case. Joy is its orientation. Same data, different lens, same with the little boys. They're given the same present. They're given the same stimulus. There's nothing else that's happening. They're just looking at it through a different lens. It's not toxic positivity. It's nervous system flexibility and resilience. And joy doesn't require permission. It's already there. You just have to allow it to be present. It's a hard shift for people that are not wired that way. So some of the things that you can do to make room for joy is, these are some very simple things. I know it says sidewalk chalk. I was thinking more along the lines of people that spend hours drawing these intricate things on the ground with chalk. They're absolutely gorgeous. The minute it rains, it's gone. But that's okay, because the joy that they felt while they were planning it and drawing it, and then the people coming around and looking at it, it's not lost. It provided joy for a moment. Totally just a really great outlet, and it doesn't matter that it could be gone in a moment. Same with sandcastles. Sidewalk chalk, you give kids sidewalk chalk and they're good to go for a while. That's joyful to watch. Music in the car. So this is a fun little thing. My son and I, he's 15, and we have a lot of great conversations. He's about to get his driver's license, so I'm really pre-grieving the loss of those amazing conversations that we have in the car, but it's just me and him. And so a lot of times what we'll do is we will play this game. It's called the word game, and I'll give him my phone and he'll say, "Mom, pick a word," and I'll say potato. So he'll type in the word potato, and whatever song comes up, we play it. And I know it seems silly, but these are just little routines that we do that bring joy to us. And we found a song. I'm going to see if I can play it for you, because we still laugh about it to this day. It came up when we said potato, and we still joke about this to this day. It's brought a lot of joy to us. So this is the song. So we're driving down the road, and that song comes on, and we were just laughing uncontrollably. It's just silly little things like that. We've said words like toast and seesaw and, just random things, and we've actually found some really, really cool music. That's not one that we would normally listen to, but it is a joke. The potato dog song is a joke that we have, but we've actually found some music that we, wouldn't normally have ever looked up just by creating little joyful rituals like that. This is my son in the middle in the black, and that's his best friend, Atreyu. Yes, it's from the movie. I know, he's a great kid. We were in Gatlinburg. We went to Pigeon Forge and Cades Cove over the fall break, and we randomly stopped into a thrift store. If you've ever gone thrifting on vacation, it's amazing. There's all kinds of really cool things. This shawl I found for $2. Somebody lovingly knitted it, and I thought it was the best thing in the world, and I bought it. And I had the best time running through the fields of Cades Cove while wearing it. And, it was a lot of fun. I had a little video keyed up. They ran down in the field and spun around, and I overlaid it with Little House on the Prairie. It was hilarious. And then Atreyu, their best friends, Atreyu, bent down and picked up a flower and gave it to my son. And it was just this really funny moment. But again, look for moments of joy. Initially, my son was kind of annoyed about going to a thrift store, but they were having a lot of fun picking out random things and people's, hats and trying on hats and being silly. And then we actually ended up buying it's like a monkey with Velcro things, and we took it all around for the rest of the trip and took a bunch of pictures with it. The Adventures of the Thrift Store Monkey, I don't know. But you got to honor your joy. Notice the joy around you and don't worry about being seen. Here I am flouncing around Kate's Cove with a random shawl on, and I didn't have a care in the world about who saw me because I was having joy. I was enjoying myself, and you don't get those moments back. And I would rather people see me having joy than not. So it's contagious. It really is. There it goes. And then this is my porch goose, Penny the porch goose. I live in a condo, so I don't really have a place to display it, but I've always been fascinated with the porch geese. And last year for my birthday, I decided I wanted one, so I asked for it and I got one, and I really have a lot of fun with it. And this is when my son's birthday happened. I did the birthday outfit, and you can see the balloon. That's another thing. The Dollar Tree, it's not the Dollar Tree anymore, but they have balloons for $1.50. It's really hard to have a bad day while you're holding a balloon. So if you want to bring some joy to someone's life, get them a balloon. Go get them a little piece, some candy and a balloon, and we always do that for birthdays and special events, and people really love it. I'm sorry that this is shaking. There's my Easter one, and there's my two dogs. You can only see the one, and then I have fun doing that. It's fun, and my neighbors, they might think it's silly, but I think most of them like it. And there's a little granddaughter that lives in the condo across from mine, and every single time I decorate it, I can hear her squealing out in the hall about it. So it's just fun. You just never know. Joy is often quiet, and we miss it because we're scanning for danger. We're looking for signs that things are not okay. We're looking for reasons why we can't feel joy in the moment. And then when we start to actually notice things, our nervous system takes stock of what we notice. This is a picture that I took outside my condo during the last snow that we had, and I wish that you could see. It's got two things in here three things that I really love. One, snow. Two, it was like someone had dumped glitter all over the ground. It was one of the most beautiful things I'd ever seen. And morning light. I adore morning light. You can only get the cascades of light that come in for maybe 45 minutes each day. Evening light's beautiful too, but there's something really just restorative about morning light, and I happened to be walking out and saw that and thought, I want to capture this. So it's not always in your face joy. It doesn't have to be a porch goose or running around, in a shawl. It can be just the quiet of the snow or the morning light. And joy is something you allow, not achieve. This is my dad. We go to a cabin every summer, and there's these little chipmunks that we feed, and it happened to get up on he's got a cup full of sunflower seeds. He never smiles. It's very rare for him to smile. So this was a very amazing moment that I was actually able to catch that. I thought the pineapple suit was funny, and then I was skiing in a gigantic fuzzy Yeti hat, because why not? Why not, It's ridiculous looking, but it's fun. And we've been taught that joy comes after productivity, weight loss, healing, getting your life together. It doesn't. It can be any time. There's no reason to delay the joy, the feeling of it. You can, I've been smaller, obviously, in the picture down here. I was training for a bodybuilding competition. I've never been more miserable in my entire life, to be honest. That's where I wasn't having a lot of balance, but I still found ways to be joyful. And I don't mean miserable in a non-joy sense, but, I was dieting, I was working out, those kinds of things. And just smiling. My friends, she brought me a basket. You can kind of see there's a balloon in that picture. You can't see the balloon, but she knew the balloon was going to make me smile. And just moments of joy. You can't delay it. And then joy has to come first. Instead of asking, how do I fix myself? We say, where is my body already offering moments of joy, and am I letting it land? Is it all around me and I'm just not seeing it? I'm not letting myself feel it. I'm not letting myself enjoy it. And your body recognizes joy immediately. It's medicine. And when we took that big breath and we let it out, when we calmed ourselves for just a moment, the body knows that you're centering it. And when you take a moment and you stop and you notice the snow, or you notice little things, or you stop and see a little cardinal that's hidden somewhere, it just makes you happy. It makes your body do things that you may not rightfully be aware of right away. One of the reasons why I gave everybody the cardinal is because I saw these and I thought, well, those bring me joy. And I know cardinals are very symbolic to a lot of people. I've lost loved ones in my life, and people say that cardinals are kind of a spiritual bringer. But outside of that, each one of you, when I gave you the cardinal, it was, oh, thank you. Just little moments of joy. And kind of along those lines, the other night, my son and I were at Chipotle. I went up to order, and I put my hands on the little counter to look over and tell the guy what I wanted. And I reached down, and there was this. This is a little Jesus. And I looked at my son, and I said, I found Jesus. He's like, what? I said, Jesus. So, and it doesn't matter if you're a Christian, whatever your religion is. It was fun. It was a moment that my hand touched it, and I looked down, and there it was. Just little moments like that. So I am known to randomly leave these around. Why not? It's fun. You can get them on Amazon. A pack of them for $20 is like $5. They have all kinds of little creatures. The whole Jeep trend where you're leaving a ducky on, the Jeeps. I drive a Subaru, and someone left a little cow on it and said, Moo Moo Subaru. I had no idea what that was, but it made me happy. And then joy doesn't erase hard things. It gives the body enough safety to metabolize them. If we're constantly telling ourselves we're not allowed to feel joy, then your body hears that, and it doesn't allow you to really, truly conceptualize it and enjoy it and get the benefits of joy. And you don't need more joy all at once. You just need more moments of it. This little girl is Lorelei. My son plays hockey, and she's one of the daughters. Not the daughters, I'm sorry. She's the daughter of one of the mothers, but a brother of the goalie. She's one of the most joyful little sprites I've ever seen in my life, and everything she does is filled with joy and happiness, and I want to bottle that up. She's a perfect example of just outward joy, and I hope that stays with her all her life. I see that picture of her, and it reminds me that we don't have to be children to have outward joy. We can have it anytime we want to. Just a little bit each day is adequate, but we should have a lot each day. And then one last thing, this book, I literally just happened to be reading this. It's called The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin. I don't know if any of you have ever seen this book. It's been around for quite some time. I've read it several times. If you're looking for some easy ways to bring joy into your life, and it's an easy read, this is a great one. She talks about intentionally bringing happiness and joy into your life, and being okay with allowing yourself to have that joy. I get nothing from promoting this book. I just wanted to share it because it just seemed to be aligned. I was reading this before I knew I was going to do this presentation, so wanted to share that. But that's my presentation.